Look, it's fine. We haven't started the.
Yes, we're recording.
It's all right. It's all right. We're going to delete that. Don't worry.
I'm not deleting. I am keeping this.
Yeah.
Oh,
cut it,
God.
cut it
No,
there.
don't cut it. Don't cut it. Just keep going. I like it. I
okay.
can go from there.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right, give us a countdown.
Matt and Mike's Matinee. Today we're talking about Eephus. Matt, give it to me, my friend.
Well, Eephus is a movie directed by Carson Lund. And it's a baseball movie of sorts, a recreational baseball movie about a bunch of gentlemen, a bunch of older, mostly older men, kind of gathering together on the final day to play baseball that they have before their home stadium is tore down, to basically build a school over the lot. And that's the setup of the movie. And what kind of follows is, a movie about the directors wants to explore this place and time. The whole movie is basically the game, and it's like a one particular setting, kind of like The Breakfast Club is kind of we talked about it being very similar. And what it does is the camera just kind of explores the kind of relationship between the men as they kind of riff and kind of talk with each other, the all the different kind of people that congregate around a baseball field during these things. The old timers have seen hundreds of games, they're commenting on it. The women, the wives of the players who were kind of stuck there watching their husband play the game because they love them, but they're not interested in the sport at all. The kids that are sitting around bored out of their minds, waiting for something interesting to happen. The
onlookers who have just walked by and happen to enter the scene. Per se.
The people at the concession stands that hate their jobs. They comment on it. And it sounds kind of
shallow,
devoid of plot, but that's because I think this movie is a movie that wanted to like some of the older movies, kind of like Last Year at Marienbad or other movies I can describe where they're just like, hey, what if we just take the camera and just visually just depict this event, this ball game, let it play out, let you kind of just soak into this time and this space, and then you can draw out some meaning from this experience. And it's a very different approach to cinema, but it does it incredibly well. And what I think it does is, because it's a love letter not only to baseball, but it's doing everything in its power to bring back these memories out of you for anybody that was ever played baseball or played Little League baseball like I did, and because it's so accurate to not only all those people that congregate around it, but the crack of the ball, the crack of the bat, the kind of the boredom of being in the outfield, waiting for something to happen, with that one guy who puts the glove on his head and he's just kind of looking up at the light, or kind of as the movie is actually shot from the day to night, and so it has this really cool thing where it kind of slowly the lighting changes and the movie becomes more quiet as it goes on, and it also kind of creates the sensation of games going on for too long, way beyond the time that people are interested in what's going on. And I was that kid, sitting out in the ball field, picking grass, just
swinging a branch
at
the trees.
Just waiting for the game to end, because and I think that there's something special about a movie that can so accurately transport you to that time and place and make you just it just feels so real. It just feels like you are playing that baseball game with these people,
or you're watching. You're in the stands basically, watching this group of middle-aged and college-aged men play a game of baseball in their home field that's about to be torn down. And like you said, it's not really a movie to watch for the story. Mm-hmm. It's a movie to watch for the feeling.
Yes.
There were a couple of points in there where I was literally transported also back to the days when I was playing Little League baseball, or when I was watching a baseball game going on for a family member, or at a local stadium, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Which, to me, that was an interesting experience because I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
And at first it was really jarring because I don't usually go to movies for that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I found myself laughing along with all the players. I found myself like kind of getting chilly because it was based around in October, around Halloween, and I kind of it really did teleport me.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. I didn't at first.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't at first, but after we got to talking about it,
Yeah.
you really kind of let my mind simmer and kind of pick up on how beautiful Eephus is, but in such a different way.
Yeah.
As in such a different way from all the other movies that I've seen.
Right. Absolutely. And it is beautiful. And not only the cinematography is amazing, the sound design of this movie is fantastic, and it's really what it creates the transportive kind of quality of the movie. It rests on the sound. But what's really interesting is how much the stuff is like, how much of the sound design tells you things that are off screen.
Yeah.
Like so many times, like the camera's focused on the person interacting with something off the screen, and you can just hear it. And you can create the image in your mind.
The background and the sound is a whole different story from what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Like you could honestly probably watch the movie in the background and still have a good experience with it.
Yeah. And it's weird. It's weird that it's that way.
Yeah.
But every element of it is so good. Like the advertisements on the radio are really funny and really kind of like lovingly like recreate like small town like America. It takes place in Massachusetts, but it's just like you just know like some hometown radio stations that like have like these quirky radio personalities on there and that's really fun. And all of these people are people you know. I think that's why it works. Is that all these men, while you don't spend maybe a lot of time with them because there's a lot of characters, but you just know them deep down.
Especially if you grew up in a small town.
Yes.
Like this, it really has that small town feel. Everybody knows each other. Everybody knows each other outside of the ball field.
Yeah.
But you could almost put a name to every single person personally if you've grown up in that experience.
Right. The old people and the young people. And it's just I don't know. When I watch it, it's just a lovely movie to experience, and it makes me. It's the kind of movie that I want to see cinema, more I love movies that are just to have the confidence to say, we don't have to have like character arcs or forced conflict or villains or
love stories.
We can just like depict like this game is experience, and then let the audience kind of relate to it, or and I think that because of the way the movie's structured, how it goes from day to night, and it gets kind of cold, it's kind of chilly, it starts dragging on, the players start getting kind of tired because they've been playing for so long, a lot of them want to quit and leave. But when it gets really quiet, and it does really get quiet and drawn out in a really interesting way, I think that is why you're able to reflect on it so much, because it gives you that space for your mind to start wandering to your own experiences with baseball.
You're right.
And it's really a really smart move.
It was absolutely 100% an experience. And one thing that I did appreciate is that we watched it at a local theater, and the audience was actually really fun.
Yeah, and they brought a lot of insight to it because they talked about the different radio personalities like that were actually real directors, and then even that one pitcher that showed up was actually an actual pitcher. And we got some like extra insights that we may have missed out on if we were watching it somewhere else.
We're not sports people.
Right.
Like we have to preface that. We don't go after sports in a daily
Yeah, we don't like watch sports, but we both have that experience. We have that connection to sports.
It.
And I think that's what the movie is. It's like movie is made for people to connect with the hobby, the Great American Pastime. That's kind of on the decline a little bit. It's still not it's still liked, but definitely not the youth is not as interested in baseball as other activities. And I think the movie also kind of feels like a send off to or kind of like an ode to the pastime that is kind of fading. Yeah. And I think it's really pretty. And I think it really hammers that last point in on the scene at the end where the fireworks, one of the players ends up buying a bunch of fireworks and they start firing them off. Yeah. They don't show you the fireworks. They just show you this very lonely shot of a man inside the dugout the last time that he's experiencing these fireworks, as all the colors kind of wash over him. But it's this shot from the inside the dugout.
Yeah.
And
it was beautiful.
And then as these church bells kind of rhyme, which kind of makes you, it kind of has that feel.
The church bells are rhyming throughout the whole thing, though.
Yeah. Yes.
But I tried my best to keep track of what time it actually was, but I don't think that was really a point.
Right. Yeah, I don't think so. Other than and I think it's really they're there and you can kind of read into them as much as you want to. Yeah. Or as little as you want to. It's a movie that I really think that people should take a shot at and give it a shot, especially if you are somebody who's ever played baseball. You should do it because it might be surprising that the stuff that it kind of the memories and experiences that it'll trudge up inside your mind is really interesting, and then kind of this melancholy feeling that it sometimes gives me, because in most of the people we watched, because it one of the people we went with was talking about this last experience they had with their grandmother was going to a local baseball game, and it brought a lot of those memories back to them, and I think that's who the movie's made for. I would say if you have no connection to baseball, it'd be a little tough to probably outside of it just being funny, well shot. I think that you can
appreciate the cinema
of it.
But I don't think it's for everybody. It's definitely not for people who are extremely into sports movies that have that drive. It's not
that plot.
Yeah, that plot.
Yeah.
It's not for
the underdog story. It is not like an underdog sports movie kind of experience or anything like that.
It's not going to be for the people who just want something to watch and blow their mind. Yeah. You have to approach this movie with a critical view.
Yes.
Almost. You have to approach it knowing that it's going to be something you're going to have to personally chew on.
Yeah. Yes. I think so. And but I don't think that I think that is what I'm looking for in a movie. So, I really liked it, and I've been sitting here this whole time, and I have no idea what number I want to give it.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Yeah, it's really hard, but I think I'm gonna have to sit at it. I'm gonna give it a 9.
A 9?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 because I really love the movie. I really liked it, and it's maybe the best sports movie I've seen outside of the documentary Hoops Dreams. I think it's. And I think it's because those elements, those extra artistic elements that make it such a unique experience, and one that I don't think I'll forget, because I've never seen something quite like it either.
See, I definitely got Napoleon Dynamite vibes
with the humor,
and the way that it was shot, kind of these scenes where it's just all right, guys. Go ahead, have fun, type thing.
Yeah, and it's like these lingering scenes, these lingering shots on people having a conversation or making a joke, or kind of an awkward exchange where someone on the ball team, obviously the rest of the team doesn't ends up trying to make small talk and everyone ignores. Yeah, very very Napoleon Dynamite in that way.
Yeah, and there's very few times where you feel like it's a scene where they're just trying to get their lines out. Yeah. It does feel 100%
so naturalistic, and there's so much dialogue that happens in the background, like we said with the sound design. When you go back and watch this, you're gonna hear
something completely.
There's so much stuff going on that I think it's a movie that you're supposed to rewatch, and that's why I'm gonna put it in the 9, because I have a feeling that if I rewatched a couple more times, I think I'll like it. I think it'll lock in at the 9. Where when I first watched it was an 8, but on rewatches, because of all those elements and kind of focusing on it, I think is It's such a strong piece of cinema, and storytelling and structure in a very like different way than what most of the stuff's out there.
Absolutely.
And I have to give it its props for that. So I got to do it.
So honestly, like if it wasn't for me talking with you, I would have gotten probably like a 5 out of it. But as we were leaving the theater and just bouncing ideas off of each other, and as you were helping me like view the perspective of the nitty gritty and how it is, I really bumped it up quite far to a 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think this movie is for everybody, but it actually, I appreciate that it gave me feelings and brought back memories that I hadn't touched in a long time.
Yeah. And then we got to share them and we connected over them, which is what another great power of movies.
Absolutely.
And this is something that a movie like this will do much faster than something like The Electric State will. Right. Yeah. You know,
that review's on our channel.
That review is on our channel. It's not good. But that's part of the power of movies. It's the community. They bring us together, and I think Eephus can do that. So I'm really glad that you ended up liking it.
No, I really appreciate the experience, and because it's a movie I would never even thought about seeing.
Yes, right. Yeah, because you told me you're just like, I really don't like sports movies, and I was like, well, this is recreational sports, Mike. So it's a little different. And you're like, oh, okay, all right.
You also kind of hooked me because you're like, this director sometimes does some crazy things.
Yeah.
It's like you're like, it's about a bunch of guys playing baseball.
Yeah.
But is
It's
that
it? Is that it? Yeah.
No, 100%.
Yeah, that's what it was. But it was
is.
and it wasn't. So
How do you mean?
Yeah, because it's so unorthodox the way it's done.
Yes.
You know, because it isn't just like a Will Ferrell like kicking and screaming kind of movie, or even like it isn't even really like The Sandlot or even other like it isn't even really like The Breakfast Club because it's so unorthodox the way it's shot and the story's told. But so it was definitely an experience and definitely one I was excited to bring you with.
Yeah, thank you again for inviting me and bringing it up and everything because that's one of the things I really enjoy about what we're doing is that I'm growing as a consumer of movies and media and stuff like that by us bouncing ideas off each other and learning from each other and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And experiencing new things, which is what life is all about.
Right. Absolutely. And I think you know what? And I think that is basically a perfect review. I think it's pretty good. I don't have anything else to say. I think
I feel like we could do a little bit of a deep dive.
We could.
But I don't know what it would do. I don't know.
I mean, we really kind of covered it. I mean, like because anything that we do as far as like a play-by-play, you know, it would just be jokes, shots, scenes. But I think that's a perfect send-off. I think this movie is one that people need to go and absorb, let it sink into their bones the same way it did us. Let them feel it out.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and I think that's the way they want it. I think that's the way I want them to experience it. So
if you have a history with any kind of baseball.
With baseball, yeah.
Or if you have any kind of cinema interests at all.
Yeah.
Like
go watch it.
Great. It's a great movie to reference for filming, for camera shots, audio and all, and lighting and stuff like that.
Yep.
But I don't think it's for everybody.
Yeah. If you never played baseball at all, I would say like, maybe, but maybe give it a shot anyway, just to see. You know, you never know.
Put it on the background while you're cleaning.
Definitely. Just see what's going on. So I think on that note, we're gonna wrap it up. So you all have a nice one. Catch you on the clip side. Okay, so since we're going to preserve some time, we're going to rip right into it. So we're going to do the intro this time?
Yeah, do the intro.
Cool. Sounds good.
Actually,
no. Give us the count.
I'll do the intro.
You sure?
Yeah.
I thought you said you didn't have enough energy for this Eephus to do the intro.
Energy? You mean inside?
Inside. Yeah.
I've got the energy, bro.
Okay.
We've done it today.
Okay, make it up. Make it up for us.
So,
okay. Well, let's do the intro.
I'll just do the intro, and then I'll be like, Matt,
okay.
Eephus.